I'm trying to figure out how to talk about what my OnlyFans experience has been like these past couple weeks. I don't think I've ever experienced the type of mental and physiological seduction when it comes to money as I have these last 2 weeks. I do want to continue to just flesh out what's been happening in my brain, what's been happening in my immediate life, what's been happening a bit with Jesse. I definitely am having some calm and some clarity, and some things came to a head these last few days that have led me to want to reflect and slow down and calm down. So this isn't like an apology video, but this is definitely going to be a more calm video. I have less angles I'm trying to play with this video like I was last few. I got kind of consumed with this idea that I could make tons of money on OnlyFans there for a second, and it excited me, like really excited me. It was a really seductive, persuasive, all-encompassing thought that maybe I've just accidentally stumbled into something that could change my life financially forever. Something I noticed that once it started to quickly go well, and I felt that excitement for what could be, I wanted to protect it, and my fear of it being taken away from me, because it seemed like it could be something that could be really amazing, right? Financially in particular. I started wanting to protect it, and I started squeezing it too tight. In the comments below, have you guys ever experienced anything like this? Have you ever been tempted by money, and motivated by money in a way that maybe had you behave a little bit out of character and a little bit outside of your comfort zone, but you kind of just were trying to walk that line because it seems so special. It seems so like rare and important. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback on this. I don't think starting OnlyFans is inherently good or bad. I've gotten enough feedback from people to know that it's the motivations, the intentions, the underlying issues, the reasons for, and I guess my behavior surrounding OnlyFans that I have to be mindful of. And at first I was like, okay, I can do this OnlyFans thing, make it really PG-13, kind of treat it like a slightly more sexy Instagram. Couldn't it be fun? A new venture, something different, something exciting, get to show off my physique, make some extra money, kind of like do an experiment. And that's what I thought was gonna happen. And then I quickly got on the site and I realized that there's other possibilities on there. I'd never been on OnlyFans before. Something that happened pretty fast is that I started falling into old behaviors of secretiveness and sneakiness and fear and insecurity. And that, coupled with my impulsivity with this whole thing, I'm not okay with. And I was justifying it, and I was telling myself, look, you're just running a business. I know how to be professional about these things, which I think I do. But the way I'm trying to become and the man I'm trying to become as a sober person is definitely one of integrity, and certainly is one of honesty. And so if I get secretive and I'm withholding information, like the exact nature of what I want to do on OnlyFans, what I've been doing on OnlyFans, how I've been talking to people, then I'm falling into slippery addict behavior. And as someone in early recovery, I gotta be careful about that. And I think I downplayed some of your guys' response and thought it was kind of exciting. This, you guys are engaged, some of you are angry, some of you are just concerned, but I've kind of been trained and taught to not take too personal what you guys think here, and that this is a professional experience for me as far as making content for a living, which I do. And so I maybe leaned in on that, like, okay, they're just worried or upset, but it's not real life. This isn't real life. And in some ways it is, some ways it isn't. But when people in my inner circle started saying, hey, are you okay? We have some concerns. And then I wasn't being entirely honest about what I was doing on the website. That's what's gotten me feeling some sort of internal struggle. And that's what has led me to reflect, because it just felt so good so fast, and I was so excited. It was so exciting to be trying something new and making money and being able to express myself and perform physically in a way that I never knew was possible, as far as like taking off my clothes and getting positive affirmations from people paying me to see my butt, people paying me to see my body, kind of discovering new parts of me as a sexual being. It felt good, and it felt explorative and kind of interesting, and it felt good. And I then became protective of it. And that's what's not good. It caused some stress for Jesse and I. We kind of discussed boundaries, but then I slightly went over them. And I've certainly realized that when I can't be completely open and honest, when I choose not to be completely open and honest, even if it's just by a little, I feel sick inside. There's a sickness that comes up in me, and it's familiar to addictive years, and it's not good. So I am heeding the warning of my circle. My best friend sat me down and just said he was really concerned. Mark sat down with me. He's like, listen, I supported the OnlyFans thing with the understanding that Jesse and I were above board on it. We had everything clearly spelled out. I don't support you doing things that put her wellness at risk and put our marriage at risk. And for a second there, I was like even hesitating about accepting that. I was like, what about me? What do I want? I just started thinking too selfishly, and I started thinking too impulsively. And so Jesse and I have been getting counsel from other people. I've been finally being completely honest about the OnlyFans experience and just taking some feedback, because I've been taught in treatment that if 2 or more people in your inner circle are concerned about you, then you need to take notice. And I do. And I'm glad that I have people in my life, and I'm glad I have you guys in my life, and I'm glad that, at least for the people that have been able to express themselves honestly or kindly or respectfully rather, I appreciate your concern. I'm figuring life out as I go. I'm learning things about myself that I didn't know. I didn't realize, 1, that someone could make money this fast. 2, I didn't realize so many people would be interested. 3, I didn't realize I would be so good at it, so to speak. I'm good at making low-level adult content. I just think it comes very natural to me, and I enjoy it. And I didn't know that about myself. And then I also was reminded that sneaky behavior is still possible for me, and I don't want that to be a part of my story. It kind of leads me to where I'm at right now and what I'm trying to do with the OnlyFans thing, with this fresh understanding and this perspective and this realization that that I can't have that venture if it's going to compromise my behavior. I can't have that venture if it's going to lead to lying or minimizing or sneaking, and it has to be done with really clear boundaries. So right now, Jess and I are reestablishing those boundaries. I'm still trying to honor my true self that wants to have this experience, but understands that any experience I have on OnlyFans that comes at the cost of the health and the quality of my friendships and my marriage isn't an acceptable trade-off. Speaking of my wife, so I'm taking a step back. I'm slowing down. I wasn't sleeping very well. I was so excited for a couple weeks there. And we're just going to take this whole thing day by day, one day at a time, nice and slow, nice and easy. I have had a good time. I do think there's a space for me to have OnlyFans and YouTube and a healthy marriage and sobriety, but a lot of ducks have to be in a row. And so I'm working on getting those ducks in a row right now. You know what I think would be interesting, guys, is get a sex therapist on here. But I'm reeling it in. I know that I came out a little hot there, a little aggressive. I wanted to get as many subscribers over to OnlyFans as possible, and I just sort of instinctively was like, how can I do that? How can I make that happen? What's the fastest, most effective way to make that happen? Another thing this has brought up for me is that I have been really bored of the content I've been making on this channel. Like crazy bored, crazy tired of it. I've just been talking about the same things for too long, I think. And so being able to explore this OnlyFans thing, kind of seeing how aggressively some of you responded, so many people are unsubscribing, it kind of stimulated something in me and reminded me, you better be posting stuff for yourself too, Noah. So we are going to explore the OnlyFans thing more. We're going to explore the mental health side of it. I'm really interested to explore stigma. I'm excited to explore human sexuality and what it is in me that just so enjoys making that sort of content and being creative that way and performing that way. And I'm going to keep working the OnlyFans thing, but I'm going to work it very, very carefully with a lot more integrity and honesty with my team and my wife more specifically. That way everything can be on the up and up, right? Her and I can decide what we really want together, and it can be a healthy thing and a fun thing. And if it can't, then it can't, but we're going to try to make it that way, and I'm going to try to just get my priorities back straight. Just got a little carried away. It's a crazy feeling I don't know if anyone watching this has ever like done any type of adult performing, but it's fun. It's like kind of alluring and exciting, and then the money, it's like I can see why you got to be careful with this stuff. I clearly want to incorporate new discussions and new things on this channel that are real to me. That's the thing. It felt so good to finally be doing something more honest. Like, my mental health content is real to me, and I love the content I made in the past, but I think some of you have noticed over the last couple of years it's become fairly repetitive and kind of like, what's the word? I haven't been very passionate about it. I've been more thinking, okay, I'm big no-no on YouTube. I talk about depression, anxiety. I talk about depersonalization. I talk about TRT. I talk about addiction, some fitness stuff. That's what I talk about. That's who I am. So I'm constantly thinking, okay, what can I make that I think people want to hear? What videos can I create that I think people want to see? And being in that space for too long is disingenuous. I felt disconnected from you guys. I felt disconnected from my true self. And I'm kind of like discovering new things about my true self. So there's a lot of cool things to explore. I still value your time. I still want you guys to be here if you want to be here. And I'm going to continue to share as openly and as honestly as I can about exactly how my life's going. And I think there are some really cool things that have come of this OnlyFans experience, and I think it shined a light on some worrisome things that now I have the opportunity to address. And I'm still sober, and everything can still be okay because I have good people in my circle, and I have good people that are willing to call me out and say, hey, this is problematic, here's what I see. And then, thank God, I'm willing to listen. I do think it was inconsiderate the way I executed everything. I think it is something that I can definitely do better with anything I get excited about in the future. And I never think that minimizing or not being entirely truthful or sneaking is okay. That's old me. I felt so much better since I've been more open and honest, and since I've taken people's feedback to heart in my inner circle. So we'll keep exploring this. That's all I'm going to say. But thank you guys for being here. Thanks for joining me on this journey. It all happens so fast. Everything happens so fast. And I just kind of ventured into a world that I know very little about. Okay. I'm never going to have the perfect words. This is never going to be just right. I'll say adios for now.